I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 299. What started as a simple bid to save the woman who claimed to be his sister has exploded into a giant citywide crisis for the wall crawler. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alrighty then, so as you may recall, in the previous issue, Spider-Man and Teresa were saved by the intervention of Black Panther. Peter is thankful for the help, but at the same time he's a little distrustful of King T'Challa. Let us not forget this is a guy who once joined the Avengers just so he could spy on them. It would seem that the digital information that Teresa is carrying around in her bloodstream is so damn important that even Hawkeye is getting involved, being hired by the Grey Blade. Well, okay, he says he's helping some former S.H.I.E.L.D. friends, which the Grey Blade technically were a part of before S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart. I guess Clint is just bad at vetting. Luckily, our heroes managed to set these two against each other before they end up escaping. Overall, I think Spider-Man is enjoying having a flying ally on his side for a change. Teresa complains, saying that he's heavy, only for her somewhat brother to fire back by saying, hey, as a flying hero, this is like 90% of your job. The heroes regroup with Mason, who is still hanging out in his bombed-out workshop despite the heroes' protest. The Mason is still trying to unravel the mystery of what his brother, the Tinkerer, was doing with all those hacked Stark phones. Yeah, remember that? That was the first thing that the heroes were trying to do when this story started. He figures that maybe that's how the Tinkerer was able to steal all this important information on weaknesses held by both supervillains and superheroes alike, but they're gonna have to put this on the back burner. You see, all the D-list supervillains, your Whiplashes, your Boomerangs, your Beetles, etc., are all rioting downtown right now on the behest of the Tinkerer, of whom they all owe favors. Because of this, a small contingent of Avengers are dispatched to deal with the threat, but this turns out to be exactly what the Tinkerer was after. You see, having all these heroes in one place means he actually gets to test out the information that he's been gathering this whole time. He knows their weaknesses and is able to use his big science brain to shut down the Vision and Black Panther's suit. Moreover than that, his ultimate ace in the hole turns out to be a reworked Spider Slayer, only now it's much more than just something meant to hurt Spider-Man. Now it's a full-blown hero slayer. Not only does this thing manage to tear through the Avengers like they were rank amateurs, but the worst is actually yet to come. You'll remember J. Jonah Jameson and Betty Brant have also been working this Tinkerer case. Well, thanks to the Shocker, they were able to break on into the Tinkerer's workshop, but they're stopped by the most unlikely of people, Mason. What a twist, right? Surely this has to mean that both the brothers are working in cahoots together, right? It would only make sense, but it's so much more shocking than that. They're not just working together, the Mason and the Tinkerer are actually the same person, which explains why the Tinkerer has only showed up via screens this whole time. So that was Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man, everybody, and I gotta say, despite dipping in the middle now that this story is reaching its conclusion, it's really kicked on in the turbos and I'm enraptured by it. I like what started out as just a simple little Spider-Man story has managed to balloon into something so huge that it's involving all of New York and most of the other Avengers. The twist is actually really good. It shows the Tinkerer to be a smart villain who's able to keep ahead of pretty much all the different factions who are after him right now, and it makes a lot of sense why we've never seen Mason before until this very moment. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. Really solid. Definitely the best Spider-Man story I read this week. So that's the comic, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, be sure to take a closer look at some of these other videos I've been working on. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you always know what new videos are coming out next. And hey, with YouTube in the state it is these days, I would be more appreciative than ever if you wanted to become a patron. You can find that link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and it only costs you $1 a month at most. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again later. Bye-bye.